Hey guys, welcome back to Joy Buzzer. Now, as you can see here, this is just a quick time lapse of me taking out my former graphics card, the 750 Ti, and putting in the new graphics card, the Asus ROG Strix GTX 1070. Now, this is a card that I just had to review. And first impressions, this is a great card. Just going over the specs, we have 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It's GDDR5. The core clock starts at 1657 megahertz, but boosts all the way up to 1860 megahertz in the boost clock mode. And that's actually really great. The I/O is actually non-standard, as I mentioned in my unboxing video, and it has 2 HDMIs and 2 display ports with 1 DVI. It comes with 1920 CUDA cores, which it's a cut down version of the 1080. Now, it's a great card, I must say, from my first impressions. So, I actually did a benchmark here. We've got Firestrike going. And what's important to note, as I've got in the lower left-hand corner there, we've got some different pieces of information, which include temps and clock speeds. Right now it's right around 1900 megahertz on the clock speed, and that's in the overclock mode, and it's right around 66 degrees centigrade, which is pretty good. Right here is the first graphics test, and it's actually hovering right around 80 FPS, which is the average, I believe. This one is the second graphics test, and it's actually hovering right around 69 FPS. That's the average. But it should be expected that this card does really well in graphics. Where my computer lags, however, happens to be in the physics test on this benchmark, as shown here. The CPU usage is much higher than in graphics tests. And then this is the combined test, which when it's hovering right around 14 FPS, that it didn't perform all that well. So let's be honest here. How did this hold up? And we got a score of 10,158, which, how does that even compare to what I originally had? Well, the results speak for themselves. In comparison to a more worldwide score, you're looking at a score better than 69% of all results. Now again, I think that's held down by the physics test, which is CPU heavy. And I've got an AMD FX 8350. It's kind of an old card, or chip, I should say. So that might be weighing it down a little bit. Now here's the gameplay of Fallout 4, which will tell you a bit more about how it actually performs. Here I'm just walking around out and about, and this is on 1440p display, and the settings are at ultra, and it's important to note that the frames per second cap is 60, and right now I'm consistently hitting 59 and 60, and that's actually one of the worst examples that I've seen recently. Here's a city scene, which tends to be a bit harder to render, and right now, not right now, but coming up there will be a battle scene really quickly, but it's important to note that I'm hitting right around 50 average FPS, I would say, in this scene. And there's a freaking super mutant suicider. I hate those. You always get those really loud, glaring beeps, and they scare the heck out of me. But I let him know my displeasure by blowing him up. And surprisingly, I'm maintaining around 40 frames per second. I guess that's not surprising per se. This is a beast of a card. But here's a bit more of a battle scene here. And I'm still maintaining 40 to 50 FPS. So, in conclusion, what can we say about this card? Well, it looks great, but even more so, it performs great. And that's really why I bought the card in the first place. You know, it can look great, but does it perform well? And in the end, this card delivers on every single thing it promises. And even further than that, it actually reaches higher boost clocks than promised. And in the end, all I can say about this card is it's amazing. I highly recommend this card if you are looking to upgrade your PC with a new GTX 1070, and even if not, I highly recommend it anyway. It's just that good. Thanks for the support on this video, guys. If you liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Just let me know what you felt about it. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Joy Buzzer.